If ever a smile failed to tell happiness, Joe Root's smile at the end of the day's play. Well, the Chennai homeboy Ravi Ashwin's 106 was his first ton against England and his 5th century in tests. This is the 3rd time Ashwin is scoring a century and taking 5 wickets in an innings of the same match. With that, he moves to 2nd on the list of all-rounders with a century and an innings 5-4 in the same match, behind only Sir Ian Botham. They call him Beefy. Ashwin credited his use of the sweep with reaching a 3-figure score.
I mean, even after the last test, we were talking about how we were going to counter Leach and, start probably bringing the sweep to the game. The last time I was sweeping was when I was 19 years old, and I hit a couple of sweep shots, got dropped from the side and never played a sweep for the last 11, maybe 13, 14 years. Been practicing only that shot for the last week to 10 days, and I'm very, very thankful that the plan has really paid off. The wicket's such that you got to get your run square of the pitch, and yeah, sort of had a very, very good day. I think we posted a really good score. Now we can really attack with men around the bat. The moment I got my runs, I was seeing everybody up in the balcony, and I can't really thank the crowd enough. They've been wonderful. They've really been very, very supportive of me. Every time I walked out to bat or bowled, the applause has been really, really thunderous.
So England require 429 more to go 2-0 up, while India need 7 wickets to level the series at 1-1. Joining us now is English cricket commentator David Brooke. Good afternoon, David.
Afternoon, or good night to you, George.
Good. So everybody in England with a voice has been blaming the pitch from day one. But how come the home side have made 600 plus on the surface and given your lot a very, 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 very tall order in order to win the second test? Explain that to me first up.
Well, it's a very good question, George, and I think it says more perhaps possibly about the English media than it does about what's gone on there, because, as you say, both teams are playing on the same pitch, and I think the issue that England should be focused on is the poor comparison between their own spinners and India's spinners. I think Axar Patel, in his interview at the close of play, was interesting today. He said that this pitch, you have to bowl spin with some pace on it. You have to really throw it, put it down there. And both Patel and Ashwin have really shown how to bowl on this wicket. So yeah, I mean, Ravi Ashwin showed how to bat on it too. It was interesting listening to him talking about practicing the sweep shot. They have mastered the conditions, and himself and Kohli with that partnership showed that it is possible if you put a plan together to bat on this wicket.
Yeah, talking brass tacks now, David, what really has accounted for the huge gap between the teams in all aspects of the cricket match thus far? Because apart from folks behind the stumps who looks to be having a very, very good game, there are so many English lads who've underperformed relative to what they showed in that first test.
Well, it shows how reliant England are on Joe Root. When Joe Root fails with the bat, England are in trouble. So that's one issue. Some people might think about the absence of Jimmy Anderson, who hit such a purple patch at the end of the last test. Is there any, I understand the rotation policy, but I think it's been over-engineered. Surely you would carry Anderson through into this match. Stuart Broad, strangely under-bowled. When he did come on eventually, having only bowled 2 overs in the second innings, he did induce, a catch that was dropped at first slip by Stokes. Folks, who'd had an excellent game behind the stumps, did put one down standing up to Stuart Broad. And, Broad only bowled 9 overs, and you've had about 56 overs from the 2 spinners, 65 overs from both spinners. And, I think that just highlighted the difference in class between the spin bowling attacks, George.
Definitely. So George asked about England. I'm going to ask about India. And what was the massive turnaround that caused them to be in such a good position right now? Because last week, 1 week ago, at the same venue, they were not in a good position at all.
Well, Rohit Sharma, what a return to form. I mean, his innings of 165 stands out, doesn't it? It was without that innings, it was India probably was reliant on that as England were with Joe Root and in the first test. And I think, we were discussing, the selection, India got it right this time, didn't they? Axar Patel looks a much better bet, making his test debut. He looked the part, and he's going to be very, very dangerous on this last day. Far more effective than the spinning attack in the last test match.
Definitely, and of course, England batting 53 for 3. If they are to scrape a win, and I have to say scrape, especially because of the position that they are in right now, what do they need to do? Who needs to step up? How does this go?
They'd have to call on the Archangel Gabriel, someone, not even Shannon Gabriel. It would take a divine intervention. It would take more than a miracle. If they wouldn't just be scraping a win, it would be the biggest miracle of all time. I think as your commentator said, it's a sense of inevitability about what's going to happen. The best that England can do is to put up some resilience, to show some resilience on day 4, but to expect them to last 2 days is beyond the call. All they can do is take some pride with them and get some of these batsmen into form. Disappointing to see Rory Burns failing again, and Sibley, the openers, are both looking a little suspect. But Ben Stokes, Joe Root, again, England will be relying on those two.
Yeah. You know, it's funny he spoke about batting on the offside, Ravi Ashwin did, because there was an on-drive there with a high elbow that was really, really nice in that century knock. But I think that at the end he gave it away tactically, David, Ravi Ashwin did, because he said, look, this pitch requires you to score most of your runs square of the wicket. Is that what the English batsmen failed to do in the first innings and so far in the second innings with 50-odd runs on the board for 3 wickets down?
I wonder whether he was throwing a curved ball in there, George. Joe Root, of course, perished playing across the line or playing his favoured sweep shot. If Joe Root can't do it on this pitch, then I don't think any of the others can. So I think, George, you've spotted some interesting mind games being played there by Mr. Ashwin, who speaks very well, doesn't he? And all credit to him for getting his batting together. He's now trying to maybe he's trying to persuade the English players to go about their game. All they can do is keep it straight, I'd say, George.
Yep. Well, if the weather should hold, so a draw is not on the cards. Neither is it. Is there an England win either, David?
It's got to be thinking about the third test, George, now. It's different. We move venues to Ahmedabad. It's going to be a day-night test match. Jimmy Anderson will surely be slated for that game. And we've got to hope that England fans will be hoping that Anderson's return will revive the team's fortunes. Your bet of 2-1 England series win is still on, George, but it's looking like less possible. You're going to get the 1-1. It's maybe less on the cards than it was.
There you go. Thank you very much, man. All the best to you. We'll talk tomorrow.
Congratulations to West Indies on a superb series victory.
Excellent. David Brooke, our man in England, talking about India and England, and also commenting on West Indies, Bangladesh. He loves his West Indies cricket. What about day four between England and India? Live on the channel, 11 p.m. in Jamaica, midnight outside. Second test, day 4. Watch as the Indians wrap up victory.